Thank you very much, Madam Program Director, colleagues and friends. Once again, thank you to the convener for finding it fit that I add my voice and insight into the events unfolding currently in Rafah, as well as the Gaza territory as a whole, in relation to the onslaught of the civilian population of Palestine. It is essential that I assert that every attack strategy that is employed towards civilian communities, their habitats, essentials, facilities, refuge assembly points, and the disconnection of humanitarian relief is to be condemned without qualification. And every state and ethnic community has the right to exist without fear of military disruption to their way of life and pursuit of a meaning under the sun. It is therefore prudent that all who observe the solemn value of humanity call for all ceasing of hostilities between Israel and Palestine, and further reiterate the need for civilian protection and relief in the transition towards a settlement of peace. An important component of identification of the threat of genocide, of which was emphasized in the application set by the Republic of South Africa versus the State of Israel at the International Court of Justice, is the reduction of the franchise and humanity of a people. This is expressed in the rhetoric by the leadership of attacking parties, wherein the victim's humanity and value of existence is diminished. In this strategy, the people are likened unto animals or disposable casualties, as was the case in the Rwandan experience of 1994, where the Tutsis were likened unto cockroaches whose extermination was a matter of sanitation and not murder. This made the speedy and mass murder executed against this minority population to appear as a service of patriotism and not for the criminal act that it was. The same can be applied to the Palestinian case. In this situation, the life and franchise of the Palestinian civilian has been reduced in value and weighed against the military objective of one state against its neighbor territory as irrelevant. This has led to the unsettling assumption by some that the evacuation and uprooting of civilians from a lifetime of work, dreams, and accomplishment into a state of indigence and helplessness is trumped by the military objective of attacking and neutralizing a military enemy. If we are indeed to effectively advocate for the cessation of any further civilian casualties on both fronts, it is essential that all willing members of society bring to life the value of the Palestinian civilian. This requires that we reassert that the people of Palestine are entitled to an official standing in the world with the freedoms of expression, movement, and settlement. It is paramount that we reiterate the value of a stable and peaceful Palestine and what it can add to the dynamics of the region and inevitably the world. In doing so, we isolate the true instigators of conflict in this affair, where when carefully examined, one can see that fundamentalism and nationalist extremism is at the forefront of the conflict that has brought the existence of a people to such peril. These fundamentalists are unfortunately in a place of authority, and thus what they say appears to be national policy, and the use of their state machinery makes the fundamentalism to appear to be a national military strategy. It is, however, important that the political economy of the Israeli-Palestinian relation be evaluated for its authentic empirical value, and not only the imaginations of those who would have both states burn, rather than they joint be partners in the effort to stabilize the Middle East. It is my duty, therefore, in this address to call for and urge all well-meaning nations and non-state actors to isolate extremism and its perpetrators for what they truly are, war criminals. An urgent of this lobbying is the plight of the refugees camped in Rafah, as they have been displaced more times than is acceptable, as even one time is already one time too much. There is more value and benefit in the peaceful relations and coexistence of Israel and Palestine. than there is in perpetual conflict. All members of leadership in the world, whatever our ideologies, have to acknowledge and assert the value of a stable Palestine. And this cannot be achieved when civilians are living under the cloud of uncertainty, constant displacement, and worst of all, threat of extermination. In closing, I leave you with the words of the father of my nation, the late great Nelson Mandela, who said the following concerning Palestine. The temptation in our situation is to speak in muffled tones about an issue such as the right of the people of Palestine. We can easily be enticed to read reconciliation and fairness as meaning parity between justice and injustice. Having achieved our own freedom, we can fall into the trap of washing our hands of difficulties of others. Yet, we would be less than human if we were to do so. It behoves on South Africans themselves, as to our beneficiaries of generous international support, to stand up and be counted among those contributing actively to the cause of freedom and justice. Now, close quote. These words ring true today and apply to us all. I thank you.